November 2nd, 2019. This is Grant coming at you, YouTube subscribers and friends. I'm in Searchlight, Nevada. I had a little bit of a change, so to speak, from my last video update. A friend of mine sent me a job offer that I really can't refuse. Well, aside from where it's located at. But he is managing a small hotel in Whitefish, Montana. It's really cold there in Montana, obviously. Minus 20 degrees and etc. Not a big fan of going up there if you're living on the streets or whatnot, but he offered a room to stay for free for at least the first month, and we'll see after that. And then I would, in exchange, work the front desk and night audit and maybe some maintenance work. I've done 6 years of hotel front desk experience, so it's kind of, I like the job, don't get me wrong. That's why I did 6 years in it. But you know, like I told him, I'd rather be out expediting when the weather gets better in March or April, so I told him. And he's potentially looking for exactly that, because the employees that he currently have, I'm just guessing, but I believe one of them is pregnant or something, and then the holidays, of course, are coming up, Thanksgiving and Christmas and so on, so people are probably wanting the time off, so he's got to find cover for that. But mainly he wanted me to work there for November, December, and January. Possibly February. Obviously you'd want longer if it works out and if people move on or they end up firing people or who knows what. So, being that I've got the experience, he offered a plane from Vegas airport up to Kalispell, and then he's going to come get me or make arrangements to come get me. So I am halfway between Laughlin, Nevada and Searchlight, Nevada, trying to get to Henderson, which is like the suburb of Vegas, obviously, because from Henderson I can take the public transportation, the buses, over to the airport, and I have the plane stuff lined up for Thursday, he was saying, for the flight out. So I'm not very excited about the plane trip itself, because it'll probably be a small plane, being that we're going up in the mountains over Flathead Lake, and I'm not a fan of really small planes. The big commercial planes I didn't have a problem with going to Hawaii, but the small ones that I'll probably get stuck on. I'll have to see what I get stuck on. Maybe I'll make a video of it if my phone is charged enough. So, anyway, that's the newest update. I was going to go into expediting, but because of the cold weather in the wintertime, I didn't want to live in the van in the winter either, and he offered that job offer to come up there for 3 or 4 months, live and work at the hotel, so I'm going to go do that. So for all of those people on my YouTube who are screaming at me that I should get a job and be a working slave, you're welcome. I'm not a big fan of it, but, at the same time, I'm tired of the streets. So, that's one thing. I got to thinking of it, and I've been out on the streets, and I slept on a mattress out behind a mattress firm store one time in 6 months, but outside of that, I've never been in a bed in 6 months. So that alone, that hotel room to myself, coming back there every day, in a bed every night, that I'm going to be happy about for the first 2 or 3 months, and then I can see my wanderlust getting to me, it'll get old after that. But I'm excited for the job. You never know, it might work out. It might be there for a year or two, and might only be there 4 months or whatever. I don't know yet. Go up there and see. Part of it is on how the hotel system works, for both night audit and the front desk system for checking people in. It's the basic thing. You give them the name and address and payment information and the room rate and all that stuff, and take that no matter what the system is. But some of those computer systems for the hotels are kind of name and then click a box, name, address, and then click a box, and it's just extra work. Other systems are literally, you swipe the credit card and it shows all the information right there, and you just verify it. Not that I want to be lazy like that, but I did work at Sleep Inn that had a system like that, which is sweet. So it depends on what they work with. Either way, I'm going to, do the job anyway. And I'll be happy in that small little town of, Whitefish. It's a teeny tiny little town north of Flathead Lake. And I was in Kalispell a couple years ago that I showed you when I went to visit my mom a long time ago. I was in Whitefish in 2009, so it's been 10 years. But I liked the little town when I was there last time. It's just, the 6 feet of snow and scraping off your windshield and all that. But this time around, being that I live and work there, aside from going shopping and maybe doing some stuff outside the hotel for maintenance or whatever, for the most part, I won't even have to go outside in the cold. And he's kind of promising that I won't have to go outside in the cold, but we'll see. Anyway, So that's the latest of the updates. I'm going to show you old, closed down for sale gas station. This is a classic kind of place that you would want to find in the desert. There's places like this everywhere. But in general, if you're in a city or something, populated city, if you can find some place that has closed for sale type of deal where you know there's no owner right there, right on the property itself, then you can camp out there. Not the greatest thing in the world, but you got to figure out somewhere to go every night when you're trespassing, technically speaking, because every night you're trespassing. But I came up on this that someone already camped here, and they tore the board off and the board off the door, and they put a bunch of stuff in there, so it may or may not have been the owner. Not sure why they would have had to go to the window, through the window to do it if it's the owner, but... And then there's boards that are stacked there that was the window coverings. Since then, people have broken the windows and stuff like that, so it's been abandoned for a while. There's a big bag and a bunch of pretty much garbage and crap in there. You can tell somebody was living in there for a while before they left. I, on the other hand, if I do stay here again, I've been staying there the last couple nights on those boards outside, so that way I'm only facing a trespassing charge versus breaking and entering, because they could blame that on me if they caught me in their building, which obviously I wouldn't want, and it ain't worth the risk, and the temperature is not worth the risk. If it was like minus 20 degrees or something out here, then yeah, then it'd be worth the risk. Then I'd be finding some way to board the board back up, you know, and be able to go in and out without people seeing you or something. But I was just showing you some random place like that you would want to stay at if you were having to live on the streets. This is one of those places. There's also a post office in town that's the perfect kind of post office in this nice small little town. It's got maybe 6 streets. I could go stay in the post office if it was cold enough outside, but it's going to be 50 degrees as the low, so that's not bad. This last week it was 44 degrees. That was getting pretty chilly. I don't like anything under 40, just because my breathing problems, my lung under 40 degrees. But I'm slowly making my way up here. The problem is from north from Needles, California, I couldn't get a ride. I eventually had to play dead on the side of the road, and the fire marshal pulled over to check on me in the middle of the day, heat of the day, and then he gave me a ride to Laughlin, Nevada. Then I ended up having to play dead again, because nobody would, after a couple hours of filming it and putting out signs and everything else, nobody would try to pick me up, so I had to play dead again, and the Nevada State Trooper, picked me up and took me out as far as Searchlight, which was another 40 miles. And so now I have just about 40 miles that way to Boulder City and Henderson. So, but I've been here 2 days, again, thumbing and flying signs and stuff like that, trying to get somebody's attention to give me a ride, and asking up there at the truck stop by that McDonald's way up there in the corner, and asking over at the casino I just came from. Stuff like that, but everybody's too busy gambling and doing other crap. Or they're locals and they're not leaving town, they say, but I've seen them coming and going from town during the day, so unless they live kind of outside of town, I kind of highly doubt that. I think they're just lying to me. But anyway, so far things are going good, except for the fact that I can't get a ride. So my latest plan for tonight is going to be, there's a church quarter mile up that way over the hill. And of course, tomorrow is Sunday. Today is Saturday night, so tomorrow is Sunday morning. They have Sunday morning church service. I already looked on Google. And so I'm going to go camp out in their front door and then see if church-going people will be nice and give me a ride. Because either that will happen, or they will call the cops on the homeless guy, at their church door before the church people get there. Because they like to hide the poor, too, so that they don't have to deal with it. Because, God's people can't help nobody. That's the way some churches work. Other churches will jump right to it and say, yeah, right after church service, we'll take you up there. It's only 37 miles to the I-11 interstate exit that runs that way. So it's not like it's a big deal. But if they push it as a big deal, they will call the cops on me. But this is the plan that I'm going to do. There's a bunch of different beer bottles in here from where people were camping. I'm going to gather up those empty beer bottles, take them with me, put them in front of me so it looks like I was drinking in front of their church and at the front door, which, yes, is technically a bad idea, and yes, will probably get the cops called on me, but that's the point. And then in the morning, when I get woke up by either the pastor or the cops or somebody, I will wait until I'm in the car with the cop to explain to him that no, I was not drinking, that I did just that I took the empty bottles, brought them up to the church to make it look like I was, so that somebody would call the cops on me because I'm that damn desperate for a ride. And in that way, if it's the same trooper that shows up, who I was playing dead on the other day, he doesn't realize that I did that on purpose. At least I don't think he did. He realized I did it on purpose because he acted really concerned. Said it looked like I didn't drink any water and stuff like that, and I passed out or something. So I think he bought a hook, line, and sinker the other day. But I mean, it's an old hitchhiker's trick. If they won't, stop for your thumb or for a sign, then you, especially if you're out in the middle of nowhere and don't have phone service, your only other option is go right out there on the sidewalk, not in the roadway, but right out the sidewalk pretty close to the roadway where they can see you, because people have tunnel vision as they're driving. They're only going to look 5 feet off of where they're driving at routinely, so you want to be in that 5 feet. Yes, it's a little scary, it's a little risky, but you flop over and play dead. Especially it helps if you have a backpack and a bucket and other things, and you leave the backpack strapped to you, so it looks like you literally didn't mean to do that. You just fell over on it. That, by the way, is all my other signs and cardboard and crap. I flew a 33 mile to the interstate exit sign, and I flew I'm more trustworthy than Congress, but you give Congress a free shot, a free ride, and they wouldn't. I got people to honk at me flying that sign, but nobody stopped. So, but anyway, that's an old hitchhiker's thing that, if people won't stop for you, at the very least they'll call the cops. But the thing that happened down there north of Laughlin, when I played dead the second time, is all of a sudden then I had 5 cars and a trooper come. I'm like, where's these 5 cars when I'm sitting there with my thumb out? The same people would have drove by me with my thumb out. But look at me, I'm dead on the road, and then they give a crap. That is a little irritating on my part, but that's because of media. The news media blows up these hitchhiker movies and bad hitchhiker stories and stuff like that, and they blow up the 1% of the world that's really negative, and people buy that crap. And now they think it's really scary. And then plus, the other day it was Halloween, of course, because this is November 2nd. So being Halloween and everything, everybody's all freaked out anyway. I knew on Halloween night I wouldn't get a ride. I kept trying while I was walking north of Needles, California. The funny thing about that was there was a minivan broke down like on the other side of the road, and they saw me walking in about a quarter mile from when I got to them, about a quarter mile away. Then they turned their flashers off. They're like, oh my God, there's a hitchhiker there. And of course it's Halloween night. So I just slithered my ass across the road when I got there and banged on their door and asked them if they needed help, and just scared the living hell out of them, because that's what they wanted. I mean, why else would you shut your flashers off on purpose? They wanted to hopefully pretend like I wouldn't see them. I mean, that's how scared these people are. But that's the same people that go home to the same house every day. They go to the same job every day, same house every day, same job. And then when something different happens, like their van breaks down, which happens to be on Halloween night, and then they see some dude, and granted, I was walking, in the dark at probably like 12:31 in the morning, something like that, just because I wanted to walk. It was a nice night out, and I wanted to get away from Needles, because there's a bunch of bad drugs and crap happening in Needles. If you're homeless, you don't want to stay there at night. It's just creepy people being. That's mainly why I wanted to get 3 or 4 miles out of town. And I did. I got up past the casino and then found a nice place to camp out. But anyway, those people, they go about their daily life every day, and then when something different happens, they get freaked out about it because they're not used to change. Versus somebody like me out on the street, I'm used to different things every single day. So now that kind of shocking stuff don't shock me no more. Sorry for the noise and the wind noise. I'm glad I picked a moment to make this video that it didn't have 90-mile-an-hour winds, because every now and then this place has some horrendous winds, and it's always all headwind coming from where I gotta go to. And then plus there's nothing past that church. And then being that I've been in town and the edge of town and stuff like that, trying to thumb it and everything, and nobody would pick me up, I can just about guarantee you that when I get out of town so that nobody's around, they won't pick you up, because they don't consider that a safe zone. They consider this a safe zone because they're in town. Other people will see anything that happens if they pull over and something bad happens or whatever. Yeah. So I'm just saying, in the future, if you see somebody on the side of the road, I mean, yeah, you have to judge by their appearance, whatever, if they're too scary to pick up. Granted, there's a safety issue with that, a little bit. But it's not as bad as the scary hitchhiker movies would make you think it is. is what I'm saying. Help these people out, you know. If anything else, this whole thing of living in the streets and hitchhiking and stuff like that is I'm going to pull over and help people out whenever I can because they're just looking for a ride. That's it. Even the dirty kids. You know, I haven't had a bad experience yet with either the dirty kids in vans or the dirty kids on the street or, you know, people riding for all the different rides that I've gotten. Most of the time I get either grandmas or moms to actually pick me up, which is a little weird, but it's women, you know. Occasionally guys, older guys will pick me up, or truck drivers, or a hell of a lot of time it's one kind of cop or another. It's a trooper or sheriff's deputy or something because somebody's called about you. Because again, it comes back to, oh my God, I'm scared for that guy's life, you know, on the side of the road. He's walking down the interstate, or he's walking down the road and walking down the street or whatever, but I'm too scared to pick him up myself, but I'll call the cops and let them deal with it. I mean, this snowflake system that we live in, you know, you could just pull over and be a man about it and, you know, carry, you know, learn how to train and carry on a weapon if you're so damn scared about it. But no, let's depend on the cops. Let's disarm every U.S. citizen except for the cops and then see how that gets us by when the government can do whatever the hell they want, you know. I fully stand on the Second Amendment and I'd be carrying a firearm on me all the time if we didn't have these kind of regulations where every single state it's illegal. It's illegal here and illegal there and illegal there, and if it's concealed carry in this state, you can't take the next one. It's just stupid, but the government does that on purpose. So that especially traveling people that don't necessarily have a home can't be carrying a gun around for their own safety. Well, they can be, but then they risk being illegal again. So it's just a ranting video, and I wanted to show you the light on Searchlight. It's a cool little town to be in, but I guarantee you from the experience that I've had so far that I'm never going to come back through here hitchhiking. Ain't happening. I mean, the only chance I'd come through here is at the dependable vehicle. Because literally, this is the one place in the USA that nobody gives a flying crap. Excuse my French. But they really don't care. I mean, some of them will even honk at you. Some of them even slow down. Really slow and look at you and look at your sign and everything and keep on driving. In town, in the desert, don't matter. And it's been that way since Needles, California. Up that 60 miles, I think it was, to Laughlin. Up the 40 miles from Laughlin to here. And I can guarantee you it's going to be 35, 40 miles that way, same way. The church people might help me, or they might call the cops who would help me. And they probably will if I could do the empty bottle plan, like I was telling you, pick the empty bottles up there. I'm doing that on purpose. So that after I get separated from the church people, in the car with the cop, as he takes me away from that deal, I can say I wasn't drinking or nothing. I purposely brought the empty bottles up there on purpose so that they would call the cops so that I could finally get a ride out of here. Because nobody will pick you up. You know, and you don't believe me, you can come back here and see all the signs and everything else. I don't know if it's just because I bought a 5-gallon bucket and they think I'm like a hardcore homeless guy, hitchhiker, and that just smells all the time or something. Not sure, but seems like ever since I got that bucket to sit on, I've been sitting a lot instead of moving. And part of that reason is because it's kind of heavy. And well, it's got a sleeping bag and a blanket in it. Because I got in cold enough weather that I had to start doing a sleeping bag again. And then my clothes are in the backpack. But that's part of the reason I'm packing extra crap that I don't want to walk. But yeah, so far it's been kind of fun. I mean, the further north I go, the slightly colder it's getting. I just want Thursday to come already and to be in Vegas, to take the plane, to hopefully not die on the plane. You know, because it'll be probably a little teeny tiny Cessna type jet to go over the mountains like that would be my guess. I don't know. But I'm going from one vacationville in Las Vegas, Nevada to the other vacation spot in Kalispell, Montana. So most likely it'll be a teeny tiny little business type jet. I don't know. But I think my friend's doing that route because he gets points for it or something to fly me there. Because I offered... or not offered, but I told him about the Needles, California has the Amtrak that goes through Needles, goes all the way up the west coast, through Portland, Oregon, and then back right to Whitefish itself. But he didn't want to do that because it's probably about double the cost of what the plane was because he found a deal on the plane. But I'm okay with it. I'll go and venture on a plane again, see if I don't die or not. You know, what the hell. You only live life once, right? Even if I do die. So this video is probably going to run down my battery on my phone, so I need to be cutting it off. I'm going to upload it whenever the heck I could find Wi-Fi, because that's the other thing. This one had an hour Wi-Fi at Denny's, And then McDonald's Wi-Fi up there only works half the time, and they're the only two that are free this entire town. So, at least that I found. Everything else is secured. So, I've been pretty bored flying a sign and not, thumbing it, and yeah, all my hours of the day pretty much sitting right there at that pole by that 35-mile-an-hour speed limit on my bucket all day, all night. And walking up and down the street trying to get people's attention and stuff, and they honked a few times for the signs, but they never stopped. My battery's flashing, so I better call it quits. Like and subscribe, leave comments. Catch you in the flip. Peace.